What's up, guys? It's your bro Jared here. This video is more of like a short notice video, but the reason I'm making this video is because today, when I was tidying my room and stuff, I was moving furniture around, and just behind my dresser, I found these bits of paper with writing on it. Turns out that writing on it has are actually in fact diaries of my thoughts and stuff back then. So the year I wrote this one here was in 2022. But in this particular one, it tells a story of like my Nofap journey back then, things I wanted to do and stuff. It was just basically about my thinking back then. So in this video, I'm gonna be reading this to you guys. This felt like a self-reflection when I read it, and it has valuable stuff that I think others should hear. Like, who knows, it might help someone. So here I'm about to read it. So, how did I succeed in Nofap? So, those who don't know, a few years ago, earlier on in my journey, back when I was like counting days and stuff, I was still learning a lot, and back then I'd only gone as far as like 50 days. Didn't even know much about Nofap. But anyways, how did I succeed in Nofap? I did things that made me uncomfortable. I mingled with others. I made friends at work. I went to parties, had conversations with others, talked to people I'd never met, went to the gym despite there being others, started to sort my life out, took cold showers, doing uncomfortable things that made me stronger, and feel like I can achieve anything. I did things to keep me busy. I went to work, went to the gym when I was able to. I focused on hobbies such as welding and constructing, etc. I did chores. I mowed lawns, weeded the garden, and took out the trash. I did things for my family when they needed me, which brought us closer. I worked on new projects when an idea crossed my mind. Doing all of this kept me focused and didn't once think of porn and masturbation. For once, I could see a future without PMO. I no longer felt the need to do any of it. I did things to get in the right mindset. I would meditate when I felt I needed to. I would reflect. I would take note of what happened and how I felt after doing PMO, and what would happen if I did it again. I would remind myself of what PMO did to me and what it will do to me if I keep doing it. I remind myself that there's a life out there, and doing Nofap will help me get there. Being in the right mindset is what makes me succeed in Nofap. If in the wrong mindset, that's when relapses occur. I did things to prevent a relapse. I kept being in my bedroom to a minimum. I was only in my room to sleep, make my bed, and change clothes. I made sure I was around others and socializing. I would transmute energy, whether horny or not. I would go to the gym to work out. If that wasn't possible, I'd find something to do, such as not so much push-ups, but yeah, push-ups back then, or I would do something like go for a walk, or yeah, I'd go somewhere and do something. I would work on hobbies, do yard work, or assist with chores. I would take cold showers and or meditate. I reminded myself of the consequences if I were to relapse. I would sometimes get off my phone. I would even let the battery run flat, and I would avoid charging it. I would post regularly on the Nofap Discord server. That Discord server is where I've actually grown over these past few years. But yeah, I'd post regularly on this Discord server. Sometimes I would write long posts of my progress and what I've been doing to improve myself. I would even ask how others were doing. When I did that, not only did I want to know how others were doing, but I saw that as a chance to also open up and tell others how I'm doing and feeling. I found other things to do. I would sometimes go for a drive or simply go to the supermarket. Sometimes if I was lucky, I would talk to the cashier. All of these things really did prevent me relapsing, especially being out of my comfort zone. If it wasn't for all these things, I wouldn't be here writing this right now. I have some weakness that I need to work on. I have a plan for when I get sick. Avoid being by myself, especially in my bedroom, and be surrounded by others. Watch movies with my family or roommates, or yeah, just practically hang out with people. Ask for help when I need it, even if in control. It's best to ask for help. Sometimes help is what we need to keep on the right path and prevent a relapse. We all have weaknesses. If not dealt with, things will go wrong. And that's how I relapsed. I didn't relapse, but I wrote this after relapsing back then. But yeah, I gave myself reasons to commit to Nofap. I have a whole life to fulfill. I have new friends to meet. I have dreams to pursue. I have the right girl out there somewhere waiting to meet me. I have life goals to accomplish. I have a whole life ahead of me, and I will not let PMO get in the way. I will forever commit to Nofap as long as I live. I have underlying issues which I've come to accept, and now I'm sort of like understand myself better. But I initially wrote this stuff to when I was struggling and stuff. So I have underlying issues which I've come to accept. I have ADHD and autism. In my teens, I used to feel left out. I used to feel lonely because I didn't know how to socialize. I felt rejected and ignored. I once dated someone but broke up with her and regretted it for years after. Fortunately, I got closure when I asked her out again. I got rejected, but I eventually moved on. These underlying issues I eventually came to terms with. My ADHD and autism, I learned that it's just a part of me and that I'm no different from others. I just think different. I got over my first girlfriend. I was already masturbating 3 times a day by this point. It wasn't until I started Nofap and started going more than 30 days without PMO, including my most recent of 50 days. And we all know that was a few years ago, so lots changed since then. But yeah, my most recent of 50 days at the time, it started to become clear that my biggest and current underlying issue has been my inability to socialize. I used to always feel left out as a teen. I was talking to someone on Discord about it. Fortunately, I've started pushing myself to more social interactions. I have started trying to talk to people more frequently, which has been helping with my mental health. Nofap has also helped. I've been going to more parties and my social skills are improving. I'm no longer afraid of being in social interactions anymore. I'm starting to feel like a man. Yeah. I did recently have a setback with COVID. That was back when by the way, that was back when COVID was a problem and everyone was like panicking. But at the time I have recently had a setback with COVID, which meant I couldn't be around others and relapsed. What I've learned is I can't be alone even if I'm stuck at home. I've got to be around others. Writing this journal was my way of thinking out loud and researching what it is that's making me succeed in Nofap. And lastly, this was written in 2022. So that was back when I was sort of like figuring stuff out. Since then, I've made changes which are noticeable. If I look back at this now, straight away I know that things have changed from that. Certain things will always be the same. I'll always be a little different with ADHD and autism, but I can still live a fulfilling life even with it. Other stuff, mental health stuff. Past month I had struggles with it, but recently I went to this party, hung out with these people, got drunk, had conversations with people I'd never met. I even talked to this girl at this party. She asked for my Snapchat. Fuck. Since it's probably one of the first conversations I've had with a girl, to be honest. Since that girl I dated back in high school. man, it felt good. I've never done that before, so it got me excited. Apparently this girl likes me, but still figuring it out. But yeah, lots of change. I've spent these past few years at the gym, got better physique. A lot of the changes I've mentioned in other videos. But yeah, it's real good to see how far I've come since I've like written this. Man, I'm so proud of myself. I just hope by making this video, it actually inspires others to do better. Like, there's like more to life than just sitting at home in your bed, jerking off. You just gotta go out and see the world, like, have new experiences, learn about yourself, try all sorts. That's how you'll grow. Sometimes if it even means losing your shit, sometimes it just has to happen to like discover who you really are. Like, yeah, it won't happen overnight. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but believe me, once you try, you'll be surprised like how good things are. But if you're just one of those people who just sits there and won't try anything, you'll never know unless you try. Like, yeah. Well, that's me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Well, I'll be posting more videos because they won't be as long as this, but I'll be reading out stuff like this that I discovered while tidying my room. I feel like the stuff I wrote has crucial information for people out there that might need to hear it. So I'm going to be posting more videos. Well, brothers, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.